One of the ways to increase sales and profit is by building customer retention. And today we look at ways to foster loyalty so that customers keep coming back to you whenever they need your product. Hello, welcome to the Marketing Matters podcast where we talk about marketing trends, technology, and everything in between. I'm your host, Victoria, and today I have my lovely co host.
Steve,
Welcome.
welcome.
Okay, so Steve, did you know that it is cheaper to get repeat customers compared to acquiring new customers? And for us to have this conversation today, it is to help our audience know that as much as we are focusing on how we'll be able to retain, to get new customers through the adverts, through the different content that we create on the social media platform, it is very important for us to also talk about ways in which you can retain the customers that you already have in place. So this is our topic today, and we hope that you'll be able to join in and gain and also be able to go to your database, look at your contact list, look at the customers who have already purchased from you, and think of ways in which you can be able to talk to them or encourage them to be able to purchase either your existing product or a new product that you're launching. So, welcome. So, Steve, how has your week been? What is something that you've learned
Yeah, I was
this week?
wondering, man, are we not doing that today? And the way I came with my with my lessons.
Yeah. What have you learned? What
Okay.
is that thing that you'd want us to take home?
What I learned this week, or what I maybe I want to share this week, is that most of the where we are right now is as a result of the choices we've made.
Oh,
And
the thing that you
most of the time it is easier to blame, the circumstances around you, lack of money, poor government frameworks, lack of education, lack of enough chances. But if you look at where you are right now, in your career, your personal life, in your professional life, in your spiritual life, it is heavily influenced by the choices you've made in the last few months and years. So if you want to change your if you are not happy with where you are, or how things are going, then you need to take action about that, because most of the time there is a lot of external factors, but the biggest influence of where you are is the choices you take.
Wow. Yeah, by the way, it's the choices that we take in life that causes us to be where we are today. That's a very interesting one. Okay, for me to, this week, and actually something that I keep being reminded um, as I continue to live my life is every excuse is valid. So
Okay.
you are right. As in every excuse is valid according to you. Like the excuse that you give when you don't want to do something or when you're stuck, it is valid. But now what do we do about it? At the end of the day, is what you decide to do about it is what will make the change. Like now, for example, you're living in a developing country. You have an excuse to say, oh, the country I'm in, I'm not able to do business the way I want, I'm not growing. So you can decide, okay, I'll not do business. Or you can decide, okay,
Mm,
as much as I understand that this is the status I'm in, so what does it mean? I need to triple my effort to be able to succeed. When you wake up and you say, "Ah, today I have a headache," you can decide, okay, I can't go to work because I have a headache. It is valid. Or you can decide, I'll go to work, but I'll take medicine because I need to achieve this and a certain task that I've already set today. So every excuse is valid according to you, but it's the choices that you make, just as you mentioned, to just blend what you've said. It is the choices that you make after to decide, am I going to now uh, do the right or the opposite of what would make the excuse not to be valid, or I'll just go according to the excuse and sleep, you know.
mm,
Yeah.
nice.
Anyway, we can we can now go and focus on our topic, which As I've mentioned, we are going to look at customer loyalty. How do we retain our customers? And I think the first statistics, one of the statistics that I saw online, I've forgotten the link, but I'll put it on the description. 81% of customers say they have when they have a positive customer service experience, that increases their likelihood of making another purchase from the same supplier or the same person. So it means that how you handle your customer would increase your chances of that customer coming back to you. And that brings us to the first point: exceptional customer service. With the noise that is in the online space, everyone trying to compete, everyone trying to sell their products or service, one of the things that stands out for different people is when you have a good customer service. How do you treat your customers when they come to you? When they come to inquire about a product or service that you're selling, even if it's a product or service that you're not selling, how do you respond to them? Do you take time to listen to their inquiries and give them positive feedback? Or sometimes does it feel like as if they are disturbing you and therefore you don't respond to the inquiries they share with you? Who responds to the calls in your business? Whether it's a walk-in customer or it's through the website or your e-commerce shop or on social media, who responds to the different calls, the different chats, the different messages that you receive? How do they respond to those messages? How well do you address your customer's concern? When a customer said, maybe I came to purchase your product, maybe the handling was slow, how do you respond to that? Do you feel like this customer likes complaining? Look, how do you respond to that customer for that customer to feel that I was well attended to, therefore I can keep coming back? If a customer dislikes your product, if a customer says, I received your product and it was faulty, how do you respond? Do you say that, oh, this is the manufacturer's fault? You have to sort yourself, oh, it's not my fault, so you already paid for the product, so stick with it. Or do you handle the customer in a way that the customer would feel that you are also part of the journey? You're also helping her or him feel like it is good that they had connected with you to buy your product or service. And of course, you have to blend that with the different policies, documentation that you create. If you have an e-commerce shop, do you have a return policy? Do you have, when customers get a faulty product, do you have those policy well written, such that you can explain to the customer if, for example, your policy states that you can't, when once you buy the product, you can't return. Then it needs to be well explained on the policy document, such that when you're even explaining to the customer is able to understand. Yeah, I read this, but then I have to live with it, or I can purchase another one. So exceptional customer service is one key thing that will help you retain your customer and or have ways to or to have customer retention in your business. Steve, I don't know if you have anything to say to that, or if you have another way that we can talk about.
I would expand that further to say to be all encompassing by saying customer experience. And this is because the interaction with your brand or with your service comes all the way from me receiving your information, maybe on the socials or on calls or on an advert, and then going maybe to click a platform to view more information, and then finally moving down the the sales funnel to actually converting and making a purchase. So in my view, you when I always, or when it is always certain that when I go to your platform that I shall get what I want, I shall find it easily, and that I shall the platform is reliable. You are able to build loyalty. This can be applied in any product setting. You can be selling stuff that is it can be a service. So maybe I come to your platform. You're saying you're offering a training. I come to your platform. I click maybe on additional information you've done. Maybe you've done a social media post. I click on additional information. If the way the information is laid out, and I am given clear outcomes of what I'll get, as well as how to actually take the next step. That counts to me as customer experience. And when I know that, maybe I buy, it's a product that you're offering every month, so I can buy it this month. And when I know that next time I'll come and experience the same thing, chances are I'll buy. But in the first instance that I am able, that I come to your platform, whether it's an e-commerce platform or just a normal website, and I interact with it, or even your social media pages. Now that comes to customer experience, where whatever solution you're offering, I have to find it or to experience it in the most efficient way that you can possibly make it. It can be either through an online experience, or you can be, having a call. I put my details and then I have a call. Whatever way you do, you move however way you move the customer down the funnel, it has to be a very seamless process, and it has to be very, if it is digital, it has to be very intuitive. Try to anticipate what the customer would be needing. If they click my site, what would I as a customer want to have? Would I want to have additional information? Would I want to have a clear call to action? Would I want to have any place to talk to a live customer experience team before I make a decision? And then you implement that. And when you have that, it's easier for that person, even if they don't make that purchase then, or they don't convert then, chances are they'll come back and do that. So I would say customer experience, which is all encompassing, all the way from the way your products are laid out, or the way your product is sold to the customer or delivered to the customer, whether it's physical or digitally, and then now how then you handle them when you are actually leading somebody from just making a decision to actually converting. It could be then
Yeah.
what Vicky has talked about, where you are, somebody is asking additional information, maybe pricing or risks, and how you handle them then will likely move them down the funnel. And for some people imagine that if I have made a sale, it is a guarantee that my sales funnel was efficient. It could be that you made a sale because that person really needed that product,
Yeah.
but that, since we're talking about loyalty, you want that customer to come to your place not out of desperation but out of desire. So
Yeah.
that customer experience, the way I experienced your customer experience team, or your site, or your social media, even inbox, would then determine whether I would want to deal with you. Because like you said, Vicky, there's a lot of noise, and
Yeah.
chances are whatever you're selling uh, is not as unique as you'd want to be. And maybe we shall talk about later how then you position your brand to look different. But if indeed you're selling a product that anybody they I can get anywhere else, then that experience is what will differentiate me from coming to your site, or coming to your page, or coming to your shop, as opposed to going to your competitor. Yeah.
Yeah. And even just
Yeah.
as you as even as you
Mm,
talk about the customer service, maybe just something to add. With the trend, with the change in technology uh, on this age right now, we can't fail to have AI included. So even as we talk about exceptional customer service, there are so many chatbots that have also been introduced in the space, where we have AI generated content. Like anytime you can go to a website, or you can go to social media, or you can go to, uh, if you're especially marketing in the online space, then you'll get, there are some businesses that will have uh, chatbots. Chatbots means it's an agent that is a machine that responds to your questions. Now, even as much as it is good to implement in your business, especially if your business has a lot of traffic, and maybe you don't have enough time to be able to respond within the shortest time possible, because even social media like Meta, when you go to Facebook, they have Messenger, which Messenger also has the automated chatbot. It is good to have them, but always ensure that you check through the different responses that you get. You tell your customers, because sometimes you might just go and add the chatbot, and then the responses the customer receives is not satisfactory for the customer to be able to get his or her questions answered. So always keep track to ensure that you feed the chatbot with the right information, and have the option where the customer can be able to still reach out to a real agent, especially if the customer's inquiry or problem is custom to that customer, or requires more detailed explanation or more detailed solution to be sorted. So just ensure that even as you include AI, balance between the human aspect and the agent chatbot. Yeah.
So that's very true, and it has reminded me of an experience I had with one of my banks, and there was something I was trying to inquire, and for some reason, this bank decided that they would make it almost impossible for me to reach an agent. So they have that chatbot automated questions, and maybe you have a question where you're maybe asking about your loan facility, why it has maybe why your facility is being why the deduction does not seem to reflect in your account and whatnot. But the questions they have is, do you want maybe a loan facility, or do you want to inquire about the interest rates and all that, or other services that the bank is. And when you try to get that the speak to an agent, you can't find that button. So you have to get out of the app, and then you have to go to maybe look for them on socials, and then that's not a very a smooth
Yeah.
experience, and it leaves a very sour taste in somebody's mouth, such that well, I know for certain when I'm finishing with that facility, I'm not going to bank with that entity again, and definitely because I don't know if we've already spoken about it, that the best business, the best marketing is referral. So you can be sure that I'm not going to be telling anybody about banking with that institution. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of things you do that customer experience will definitely affect your ability to make me or any other customer be loyal. But
I don't know,
my
Steve,
second
if you
point
have,
was
I don't know if you've heard about. Okay, this is not like a chatbot, but it's to some extent the big when the chatbots were coming into the picture, but it was more of the audio. Anytime you call
mm,
these big companies, especially the parastatals or the companies that are large. I would call them big companies, and then
mm,
when you call, before you are sent to an agent, there are some, of course, frequently asked questions. Let me call them like that. You are
yes,
told, do you want to access the way you have just mentioned? Is it a loan issue? Is it your
mm,
savings account? So you
savings
you
account,
click,
mm,
yeah, you click you follow the instructions as you're given. Of course, that helps in
mm,
the customer service. But now my issue is when you now click on I still want to talk to an agent, and then you wait on the line, and then they tell you all the agents are busy, and then it can reach a point you don't end up talking to the agent, the phone
mm,
gets disconnected.
connect.
So yes, instead of, if they will have an option, because I know most of these companies, they just get one supplier or two suppliers who does the same things. I don't know if there was someone who has ever complained, but if they would have an option that if I've called until the process where I'm supposed to speak to an agent and the agents are busy, that information should have been captured, and they are supposed to reach
Call
out to
back.
me somehow, because now my problem has not been sorted. Yeah, so
Mm,
that is even going
that's
to take place even with the chatbot. So we just have to ensure that we balance as businesses. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these days, these big institutions, I think they start off well as they're trying to acquire market share, and then they get too big that they stop caring, and it's quite unfortunate because now, even now, we have been socialized as the customers to not expect a call back from an institution, yet you know that they are the ones supposed to call you back when you have a
Yeah.
problem. So that is actually a pain point, I'm sure. I don't know why it has never been taken, but I have also experienced it when where you're trying to disconnect, or even the agent promises to call you back
Yes.
and
Yes.
they never
Yes.
they never
And
get
then
back.
when you take it to social media, they'll respond.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a very it's something that is, in my view, is something that they can easily implement because they have the
Yeah.
resources, but they just choose not to because
Yeah.
everybody is trying to cut corners, cut cost, and like you said, most of the time they outsource this service. So you find that maybe one call center is handling five institutions. So if they drop you and that query has been sent to the client, then they move on to somebody else. And unless the client
Mm,
responds, then they're like, okay, in any case, we did our bit, which was to receive this call. So yeah. But as we
absolutely.
move on to another one, I think the other thing that is very important when you're trying to build loyalty, or to ensure that customers come back, or what we'd call customer retention, is the quality. Like there's a marketing saying or a sales saying where we say the best marketing is the product. Like if you have a good product, you don't even need to put in a lot of effort. Something will surprise you, but most of these big institutions like Apple, their marketing spend is very minimal compared to the actual revenues they generate, because they have reached a point where they produce such a good quality product that they don't even need to do marketing. What they'll do is they'll do the videos, the creative marketing, and maybe they'll post it on their channel. But what you will see is most of the marketing will happen maybe when they're doing the launch. But after that, it is people doing their own reviews of the product, people buying the product and experiencing it. And when somebody buys a product, maybe as expensive as an iPhone or the flagship Samsung devices, what you will notice is when you have a good experience, or when that device solves all the needs that you was promised when they were selling that product to you, then chances are when they do another version of the product, you will likely buy. Or if you need to buy for your other loved ones, then like chances are that you would also buy the same for them. So it is something that I see a lot of, especially small businesses, neglect, which is they are they are too keen on cutting costs that they compromise on quality, and that then creates a big problem, which is you are no it is hard to differentiate what you sell from somebody else. But I trust
Yeah,
you, people imagine that just because a product is let's say cheaply priced, that it should also be poor quality.
yeah,
But even in that even what people don't what most businesses don't know is even that customer, while they are paying, you say maybe this product is 200 or 300 or even 100 shillings, that customer some way somehow is still expecting quality. They're not
yeah,
expecting you to sell them something bad just because they paid less. Of
yeah,
course they are bargain seekers, but they are seeking bargains, but not for also substandard products. So
yeah,
I would say, and of course, maybe this is not popular because people are like, okay, people are living, cost of living and whatnot. But I dare say that any product that you sell that is good quality will always have return customers, even if there is a cheaper version of your product. Customers who have experienced your product will likely try the cheaper product and come back to you. Especially if they trust that the product you're selling to them was good quality.
yeah. I think I agree with you, Steve. Now, I maybe something to just add. The quality of the product depends with the customer. Now, when you're selling, I one of the emphasis I would say when you're talking about the quality of the product is sell to the customer what you told them. Sell what you say you are selling. Like
Mm,
if you're, for example, you're selling clothes and you have different clothes with different materials. Now, when you're selling to your customer and you told the customer that this is pure cotton, let it be pure cotton. If you're selling
mm,
and it has a mixture of polyester, you explain to the customer for the customer to understand. That's why the reason why this one is cheaper than this, because this one is of pure cotton, this one has polyester in it. When you're talking to the customer, explain to them the reasons why this cost is different from this, or I'm selling to you this product, the one you saw from the, because there are some who would come, I saw this product which is even two times or three times less. Now you explain the value of why this one is of high quality. So sell what you sell only what you're telling people you're selling. Like, you
mm.
remember the example I was giving when you're talking about the e-commerce. So, the lady who brought to me a dress,
The
but
dress.
when you looked at it, it
How
was
can we
totally
forget?
different. Yes, so the quality was different. Like, you can check from the online photo and the real dress that was brought, they were totally different. But to her, she was explaining as if they were the same. So
Mm,
sell what you show on your social media, on your e-commerce shop. That will help the customer because they will know this is what I purchased and this is what I
mm,
get. It is the same image. I didn't go and take a stock photo online and I put it here. No, it is the same one. You can see even inside the way I had mentioned it is the same. So that really
mm,
helps also on the customer loyalty. Now, another uh, uh, point that I would also want to add is to implement loyalty programs. Like, you can offer ways in which customer can refer their friends, their family, their colleagues. You can provide discounts, special offers. For example, if a customer returns to your shop or to your online shop, or if the customer visits you to buy more products, if a customer comes to you and they were supposed to spend, let's say 5,000, and then they spend 7,000 or 10,000, you can issue a discount. Give them value, because as much as they know you, they also know your competitors. And they also know what your competitors are selling. And some of
Mm.
them, they even know that your competitors are cheaper than you. So what will make them still choose you? So give those loyalty programs. Like, is it free delivery that you're offering to your customers? If you're that is if you're selling products and you're in the online space. Are you giving a percentage discount? Like, for example, if you're to shop with us up to 10,000, we'll give you a percentage discount. Or if you're in the service industry, maybe if someone is working on a consultancy and then he pays 6 months in advance, there's a free month or there's a percentage discount.
Mm.
Offer discounts that will make your customer want to come back to you. Great. They'll give you a great word of mouth, because they'll feel that they are part of you. Like, a simple example is like supermarkets. When you go to supermarkets, they'll tell you that they'll give you bonga points. Have you registered with the bonga
And
points?
loyalty
Even,
points.
yes, loyalty points, coupons. If someone purchases to your website, is there a coupon? Offer those discounts that will make the customer want to buy from you. They'll just, I want to buy this, but I'm waiting, because they always are. You even have the online solutions where you'll get,
Mm.
especially those apps that are selling different tools. Like, now we have the AI tools, we have the different courses, the services. You'll get seasons where you'll get offers that
Mm.
run for a short period. So if you offer such kind So if you offer such kind of offers, people will always be looking. I'm waiting for Easter, because Easter,
Mm.
this company is going to give us a loyalty offer, because I'm part of them. Once you purchase with us, then it means during this time we'll be able to offer you a discount. So it's very important if you want to retain your customers.
Yeah, I think on that, and I would like to also caution, or to there is the normal discounts that you can offer, and then there is the exclusive discounts where you say, there are two types of discounts. There will be the normal discounts, like those seasonal discounts, where you buy our product in Easter, you get maybe 20% off. But you can have exclusive discounts where if you
Yeah.
are a member, while other guys are getting 20% off, you will get 50% off. So you can also customize that, those discounts to feel exclusive. And another thing that, remember, loyalty and retention to us marketers is the same.
Yeah.
Loyalty, retention is you want those customers not to leave, and loyalty is you want them, when they're thinking of purchasing your product, or purchasing a product, they think of you. Now, the best guys who implement this retention strategy through discounts are usually the online guys who sell products online, or the e-commerce platforms. You will notice, specifically subscriptions. Like, if you are doing a training, or if you are trying to if you like those streaming platforms, if you are buying those AI tools, because there are a lot of AI tools these days, what you'll notice is, or creative tools, what we notice is, when you're buying for 1 month, they'll tell us maybe the product. If it's Canva, they'll tell us maybe it costs $5 per month, or actually $6 per month. But if we buy the annual subscription, it's computed to around $5 per month. So that is a retention strategy, by offering a discount for somebody to stay longer with your program. It can be 6 months, it can be a whole year. Then another way then you can also implement is now an exclusive discount, where everybody else is not of getting a discount, but because you bought maybe this training program that I'm offering. The next time you come, if you bought it for maybe $5, the next time you're coming, the second training, assuming it's a course that you're offering, the second course that I come, I get maybe 50% off in the second offer. So that's an exclusive offer to a person. You are encouraging that person to be a loyal customer. And then just a bit also on the referrals. Like we said earlier, the best marketing is referral. And remember, why we are talking about building a loyalty program or a loyal customer base is because, like Vicky has said earlier, it is cheaper. When we're doing marketing, there is the cost of acquisition, which is the cost of getting new customers. The cost of acquisition is cheaper for an existing customer than for it when you're trying to retain a customer than for it to acquire new customers, because a new customer you need to do new ads. Assuming I acquired you through a Facebook advertisement and it cost me maybe $5, I would need to do $5 advert to get another customer, just to simplify how cost of acquisition works. But I already acquired you for $5, but I can give you a discount of $1 or $2 to ensure that I retain you. So when you do the math, you notice that it is cheaper. And this is what, if you've been keen, or when you start being keen at even what your competitors do, you'll notice that most of them, it seems like they're losing money on their existing customers because they give them 30 or 50% off. But when they compute it versus the ad spend on new customers, it totally makes sense on why they would give somebody a 30% off, as opposed to spending maybe 30% off, which can translate to $3, as opposed to spending $10 to acquire a new customer. So
Yeah.
that is something very important. And then just finally, still on the retention, referral links. We talk a lot about having guys to refer you to businesses, or to refer your customers. Every time you sell a product, or every time I'm sure you have been sold a product, there is usually that, refer me to people you know, or share it with me, share it with people you know. And sometimes there is no incentive for somebody to share that information with somebody else. So when you have something called like a referral program, it can be that when you refer my product or my service to somebody else, then you get a discount on an existing service. Or because I'm imagining you're referring because you're an existing customer. And this
Yeah.
has been implemented. I see it being now implemented with a lot of financial institutions. And what you notice is a referral program doesn't have to run forever. You can have a campaign where you're doing a 3-month campaign, which is a referral campaign. So you can run a 3-month campaign where all your customers, or all your existing customers, are given maybe 50% off, especially if you're running a subscription product, or if you're running if you're selling a product that has a lot of that need people to come back to your service. You can tell them, when you refer them to me, you get this percentage of so that you actually create marketing agents that you don't need to be paying for. So that is something that I've seen that ensures that you get the people to refer your product, because there is something that they might benefit, either through a discount or actually cashback arrangements. And now, for me, I would say maybe another thing that would most businesses might do well to implement when they're trying to build um, a loyalty, or to build retention, is some sort of how do I put it? Some sort of a narrative to your brand. People resonate with stories, and you might not even notice, but chances are, for some of the products you sold, maybe that person's you are how that person related with your brand is what made them want to buy a product. Like we say, there are so many people out there who are probably selling your your product. So I'm assuming you are selling maybe tires, and everybody sells. You are not even the manufacturer of that tire, you're just a distributor of that tire. But you will find, through your communication on socials, or through even the interaction that customer had with you, and maybe somebody had a flat tire and they are trying to get you to sort their product. When you're telling them about how maybe this product is, why you are even a distributor of this type of tires, how even that business started with you, people think that maybe that is not marketing information, but you would be surprised that helps build some form of relationship with that customer, because they feel like they are part of your story, and they're thinking, okay, maybe if I buy this tire from this guy, maybe this guy I help this guy in this way. Most people at least, always want to be helpful, and they want to feel like their money is going to have an impact. That's why sometimes you'd find that as a big brand struggles with loyalty than a smaller brand. Like, I'm assuming, again, in the tire example, you might find that a guy who has a small garage would sell more tires than a big garage, or maybe a dealer, because there is that feeling that the person who is selling this tire, there is a benefit that this is adding, and not just adding to the CEO's salary. There's that brand narrative. And even if you look around, the most vibrant brands, there's usually a story behind them. And even some companies have done campaigns around what's your story, because they understand your story really matters. To quote what Abs have been running, which is a campaign on telling, helping people feel like their story matters. And when you make people feel like that story is important, then you build loyalty, because people feel like these guys understand what it is. It's my hustle, or it's my my, there's something about me that this brand or this service provider at least connects with, and that helps a lot in
Yeah.
building loyalty.
Yeah, it's so true. People relate more with the stories. And also, even as we talk about that, there is also another way to retain your customers is by cross-selling or upselling your product. When customer visit your shop, either they come to the physical store or they come to your online shop, because our main focus is on how you generally grow your business in the online space, then you can have options that allows your customer to be able to not only buy the product that made them come to your shop, but also buy more products. So like cross-selling is basically offering a related product to an existing customer who already purchased something from you. So for example, if someone came to your shop and you're an electronic shop, and the person came to buy a phone. So when he came to buy a phone, before he finishes or makes the payment, you offer them things related to the phone, either a screen cover, a screen protector, a cover, a phone charger. Like you can give options that are related to whatever the product the person came to buy. If you're selling, like, let's say, a laptop, you can offer a laptop bag. We also have laptop bags. We also have screen guards. So you give different options to the customer. For that customer, he'll either buy the product there with the other products that you have offered, or he'll go and come back another time, because now he'll know, oh, you also sell a screen protector. Then I need, because maybe I had not budgeted, now I'll budget it for next time to buy the product. And then also upselling. Before the customer decides to buy the product, then probably he came knowing that this is the best option. But upselling means offering a higher value or a more expensive version of a product. So you can decide to, when a customer, let's say, comes to buy a TV 32-inch, but you tell this customer, instead of buying this 32-inch, why not buy the 64, which, when you look at the price, if you compare, it is not expensive, because it's not the double price. Like, it's maybe discounted compared to if you had bought on a different day. So you encourage the customer to buy something of a high value. For example, if you're in the service industry and then you're selling service, so let's say you are training on a course. So if a customer comes in for, let's say you're training on social media, if a customer comes in for Facebook, maybe you're doing meta training, the customer, let's say, pays $15, and then you say, but now, before the customer pays the $15, you tell him, why not pay for the whole social media training and you get it at $30? So you're telling the customer you're going to get more value at a cheaper cost. If you look at it, it's expensive compared to the budget you have, but it's cheaper, because at the end of the day, you're going to spend less if you're to, as opposed to if you're to buy the product separately. So encouraging the customer to be able to buy more from you is another way to retain your customer, because now the customer will buy, and then the next time, if he didn't buy the product, maybe if it was a cross-selling that you did, then he'll be able to come back to buy whatever you help the customer to know that you're offering. Because sometimes customers come to buy the specific product they saw on your social media to your shop, but they didn't know that you also sell these other products. So by you explaining or showing them, oh, we also have these packages. If you're, let's say, offering packages, we also have these packages, we have these ones. So they'll consider, or it will be in their mind. Anytime they get someone who wants something related to that, then it's easy for them to even refer to their friends or family. Oh, I saw that they also sell this, so maybe you can inquire from them. So it's very good to also have cross-selling or upselling features on your online shop. Yeah. Yeah. So Steve, I don't know if you
Yeah,
have
that's true. That's true. That's very
yeah.
true in terms of you are selling, trying to sell a product to through either upselling or cross selling, and I would say also that that usually probably works easier for a return customer. If it's a new customer, I would say then okay, you should always try to upsell, but also, there's a delicate balance because, like you said, sometimes also customers come with their own expectations and their own budget. You also don't want the customers experience. You also don't want the customer to feel like you're forcing them to sell, to buy a product that is maybe too expensive for them, or that you don't even understand their concern. And it's true, and I find it easier to cross sell or even upsell products to existing customers than it is to sell to new customers, because some of them, most of the time, a new customer comes with a fixed budget or a fixed mindset, and it's usually harder to convince them to change. But an existing customer, remember, this customer is returning because they trust you. You have more leeway to get them to buy or to trust your recommendation. So I would say, even as you acquire customers, don't be too forceful, because sometimes you also get these vendors who insist that they know better about the product than you do, and some of them even don't. And if they do, the way they present that information is in a condescending manner that puts the customer off. So also just try to have a delicate balance when you're trying to upsell or cross sell a product to a customer, because remember, a first interaction with a customer is what will like we said earlier, in the customer experience, is what will make them come back again. If they
Yeah.
feel like you always try to sell them something they don't want, then they'll also try to avoid you. They might buy that product then, but the next time they might not. Which reminds me, Vicky, of, I think, experiences that maybe you and I have had, where you interact with a brand or with a product, and or you go to a restaurant. Let me use a restaurant example. You go to a restaurant and you find that the pricing of that restaurant is maybe above, or you don't find that the pricing is justified. Now there are two kinds of people. A person like me would go to the restaurant, would pay for that meal, begrudgingly eat it, and never go back to that restaurant. But I suspect
When
a
they
person
do.
like you would be like, that pricing doesn't make sense. And you work out. So also, it is just a sideshow, but it's something that worth considering as a business. That when you have that interaction, or assuming you have that data that customers came and they left, you might want to inquire more. If you can be able to inquire more in that instance, or find a way of understanding through the person who related with the customer why they came to your site, came to your shop. Actually, it even we sometimes imagine that it happens in physical shops, but even in your you get data on your online shops, which is why we love um, shops that or businesses that understand the power of digital space, which is you go to your site and you see a lot of people hovered around this product, but they didn't convert. So trying to understand why didn't this customer convert, especially if they left you information, maybe their contact or their email or their some way to trace them. You can try to understand why this customer convert, and you can follow up with them to try to bring them back into actually being a customer in future. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
just something I remembered as you're speaking about cross selling and upselling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the last
Mm.
one is listening to your customers. Ask for feedback. Encourage your customers to leave reviews, both online and offline. This, of course, will help you improve on your products. After you ask the reviews, do something about it. Don't just ask for reviews for the sake of it, but ask for the feedback, but act on it when you receive. If it's a negative feedback, you can assess, is it something that can be improved? Is it something that I require to get in touch with the customer to find out more what she meant or what he meant? Is this something that I can inquire? Because sometimes someone would review on a very unique issue. So that one will call for you to reach out to the customer and try to resolve the issue for the customer to feel okay, or to get understanding of why it happened the way it did. But review and act on it. See that you are able to improve your services or your products or how you handle your customers, because when you do that, then you're able to retain that customer or even other customers who come on board, because you're handling the mistakes or the complaints that have been respond that have been asked or inquired from you. So because we are not perfect, we end up every time we seek customers reviews for us to be able to see ways of how we can perfect the business or improve on our day-to-day basis. So don't, for example, if you hospitals, you go to hospitals and then you stay for long, especially on customer service. Oh, of course, they say when you go to see the doctor, you can't uh, complain because you don't know what that person went to talk to, uh, which problem the person had when he went to see the doctor. Maybe he had so many problems and he has paid for it. But now when it comes to customer service, cashier, and they are also taking so much time as if they have a special case. Now there, if you raise that complaint, how does now the hospital handle such kind of review? They're supposed to see the ways in which they can fasten that process such that you don't take so much time on handling things that are very easy to handle, and now you focus on how can we improve on now the customer waiting time when they are seeing the doctor. So that is just also one of the major things that we sometimes take for granted. We don't listen to our customers, and when we listen to our customers, it really helps in the growth of our businesses because we improve our products, our service, and even our delivery. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the 6 ways in which you can retain your customers. And if you have any more that you have implemented in your business or you have tried out, remember to click on the comment section and also help different businesses, even as they come to view this video, they'll watch they'll also go to the comments. There are so many people who, when they go to watch a video, they go to the comment section to see what are people talking about. So it will help business in one way or another, and will also request you to click on the subscribe button such that you're able to help us also improve on our service delivery, and continue to create more videos in the future that are related to this and to help your business to grow. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.